Hey, how we going, guys? Mick here from Hop Cartel, back with another kick-ass beer review. Today I'm going to review a home brew. This particular home brew is a Hazy Pale Ale, or Hazy Pale, brewed with Michigan Copper hops, exclusively sent out to me from a friend in the States who has purchased them from 45th Parallel Hops and shipped them over to me. So I had a small amount that I was going to play around with, experiment, give my feedback to my particular supplier over there in the States. So this particular hop released in around about 2015, 2014, may have been the growing year, 2015, the crop release. Michigan Copper is a very tropical, a very high aroma hop, exclusively grown for its capabilities of being it's pretty much resistant to a lot of the diseases that they see in the crops and stuff, particularly in America, but each country's a whole lot different. Australia, New Zealand, Europe, vast section of Europe have certain issues. Australia have certain issues, and they're trying to exclude all these sorts of things. So this video is more about the hop talk of a particular variety, but how things sort of pan out in different countries. So most countries are very protective about their industries, trying not to introduce too much infection, disease. The control, particularly here in Australia, is quite huge. So it's very hard to get in. Forget about trying to import seeds, rhizomes, however you like to say it, flour content, dried flowers, all that kind of stuff. It's very strict control, especially here in Australia, particularly New Zealand. So the crossover from most countries is quite hard. So probably a little bit easy to get certain things into other countries coming from Australia and other places around the world, but to get things into Australia is very, very hard. So control is the utmost importance when playing with this. So forget about it. To protect the industry, what we have here in Australia, don't import particular things. Plant matter and animal produce is highly restricted here in Australia. So this is coming in pelleted form. That's what I opted for. I had to make sure that was exactly what was coming. I really wanted to try it. There's another variety, actually another two varieties here we've got in the freezer where we're going to put to a couple of recipes and play around with. This one is 100% Michigan Copper hopped. A pretty much straightforward recipe, not a lot going on in there. It's a bit of wheat, a fair bit of pale ale malt, and a little bit of crystal. So let's see how this goes. It is very much a hop that is very much at home in styles like lagers, pale ales, stouts, Belgians, wheats. Is very broad in the sorts of styles that this hop can be used in. Works well. The research, I've looked right into it, and all these sorts of these varieties and styles of brewing suit this hop really well. So I've chose to go with, like I say, pretty much a straightforward bit of wheat, bit of oats, and some and the majority of the bill was probably around about the 85% mark, is a pale malt grain. So I'm going to pour one off. We have it here on tap. We do have, there's a fair few kegs. There's lots of stuff floating around with different things in it. As you see, if you follow along with the videos, the Simcoe, pretty much a failure. Not a lot of good stuff going on with that particular keg. I'm just going to let it sit under, it was stored under cold temperature. I'm going to see how it performs under a higher pressure of CO2 and see how that particular Simcoe comes out. That Simcoe keg, I just don't think, I think it's just going to be one of those that slowly work through it. I rarely pour a keg out unless it's got a real issue, a big drama, infection, or something's just serious enough. From the get-go, you know that that's not going to taste any good even 3, 6, 12 months down the track. Don't waste, just tip it out and go again. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. Some people invest a lot of money into particular recipes, anywhere between $60 to $80, depending on the style. You're getting up into bigger costs when you go into the imperials and the liquid yeasts, and trying to produce a recipe you might find on the internet, or it's a proven recipe through your local supplier. It doesn't always pan out. It could be just your sanitation or the way you've gone about doing things. Beer might taste great from a fermenter, but once you get on the keg, you might start to find issues when kegging too. So whether it be beer lines or the treatment of the keg between kegging and from fermented to keg, always going to find those issues. So enough said. I'm just in the middle of bagging up hops. I pour one of these off and give a little bit of feedback on these Michigan Copper. I'm really appreciative of having these sent to me, along with 2 other varieties. So we've got a couple other experimental varieties coming. The United States seem to have a big thing going on with Neo-Mexicanas. So the Neo hops and the crossbreeding with the Neo hops is quite big at the moment over there. Not too much research in the background of this particular hop's got sort of what styles it's suited to, sort of when it was released into the market. Pretty much wanting to get my hands on just a little bit of each. Something I don't think's sort of been imported into the country at the moment. So I feel, like I say, if I could just get a little bit of each variety and play around with it, if it's enough to do a smash beer, single malt and single hop beer, that's fine. Just give me an idea whether that hop's worth pursuing, chasing it up. So here goes, and this will, time will tell. We'll see. Just poured that one off. Alright, so it is hazy. It is still sort of young on the gas, it's young on the keg, but it's there. It's holding ahead. Carbonation's fine. The colour, I'm really liking the colour coming from this one, and it is tropical. It's just so punchy. Not a huge amount of malt presence. It's pretty much I've overwhelmed this particular beer so that we can get an idea of that particular hop, work out whether it needs to be adjusted. So there's probably enough there to do another 2 beers and adjust sort of the levels. Everything about this hop has been added late. There was nothing at 60, nothing at 30, small addition at 15, then we went at 5, and then we went a hop stand, and then some at a dry hop. So colour is very much on point. It is absolutely gorgeous looking beer, as you can see here for the colour. It has had a bit of time on the gas. This has not been forced carb. It's been a slow serving pressure, and there's no oxidation, as you can see from this. Not much of a head there. I didn't expect it. Wasn't a huge amount of wheat. Chris, when I say 85% pale ale malt and probably 7.5% of each of light crystal and oats. Definitely the oats that are creating is a new word. Creating the little bit of haze here going on, and the wheat adding to that as well, and the rest being that pale ale malt. Nothing big in the way, like I say, nothing big in the way of the malt profile. Aroma, man, it is massively, like I say, it's a huge aroma style varietal hop, and damn, it just oozes tropical fruits. Very punchy, the fruit sort of, fruit salad, quite punchy. The question is, will it transfer across into the flavour, the profile of the beer? Now that I've got my nasal passage loaded up with that aroma, I think it's going to transfer quite well. To the palate. Oh my goodness, man, that's a nice hop. I did push it out. Oh, I forgot to mention the yeast used with this particular beer was the Framgarden Clake yeast. Minimal temperature control, just pushed it out as much as we possibly could. It has gone very dry, but it still remains quite juicy, quite fruity. It's got massive bouquet. The aroma is everything they say it is. The flavour transfers quite well, so I'm picking up, stone fruits, citrus. It's just so tropical. There's mango, peach, pineapple. Big on the pineapple, which is good. Papaya. A slight undertone of cherry as well, which is good. So there's a lot of stone going on there, which is great. Cheers.